Welcome to the Scandi Shift, the podcast where two expat moms talk honestly about surviving, thriving, and building a happy life in Denmark. I'm Selena.
And I'm Meg. And today we're talking about Hygge.
Which I know, everyone talks about Hygge.
Every book, every Instagram account, anything that basically says Denmark, it's usually followed by Hygge right after.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We're not talking about the cozy candles and blankets version. We're talking about what Hygge actually looks like in a Danish summer. When it's light until 10:30 at night, kids are still playing outside, you're sitting in someone's garden, and nobody wants to go home.
Which is a very different picture from the one I had before I moved here. Whenever I thought about Hygge, it was just cold, candles, and like big textiles.
And I didn't even have that before moving here because all those books, I'm not sure they'd even been written before I moved here or they'd just come out. They weren't big.
You're old hat now.
I know. And
you're pre-Hygge, you're Life of Hygge or whatever the book is called.
Life of Hygge.
I don't remember.
I think there's the little book of
Yes,
Hygge.
that's it.
And then it's living Danishly.
Leadership.
Maybe there's another one as well. There's parenting. There's all sorts. Yeah, that was a blend.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, I think when you read it, and especially when it became so popular in the States, where everyone's like, "Oh, the Danish word for coziness," but it's even more than that.
It's so cool.
It's so cool, right? It was really very wintry. It was always about how do you basically survive the winter here, and how do people stay happy and connected in a winter environment.
Yeah,
but Hygge is not seasonal.
It is not seasonal. It is all year round. And it is very different to what most people would be expecting when it's in the summer.
Yeah.
So we thought this would be kind of a fun topic to do since we are very much in the middle of the summer.
Yeah. Well, we're in Danish summer, right? So 2 weeks ago, we had what I would consider a true summer. It was lovely. It was hot. It was everything. And now, as we are recording this, we're in the midst of a true Danish summer. It is cold. It is rainy, but it is also sunlit like most of the day and night. So with that said, I think summer Hygge is a completely different version of the same feeling that we kind of have come to know and love with winter Hygge. And it actually, I think in some ways, it feels closer to what I'm like naturally did in the States when I was younger. So summer was always about being together, being outside, gathering friends, like pop-up picnics, drinks, fireworks in the 4th of July, all of those things that kind of make you happy and interested in being together and being outside and taking advantage of the weather outside. But Copenhagen kind of does it in its own way.
Yeah, and I moved here summer 2017. So I landed straight into this summer version. Actually, It was the first Hygge experience, if you like, that I got because I wasn't here in the winter like you were.
Yeah.
And I think what took time wasn't like feeling it or recognizing it. All those, warm evenings that you're outside on some kind of like pop-up, let's be honest, festival or something extremely fun because I didn't have children back then. So willy-nilly, I was just outside. If the sun called to me, I went. I answered.
At all hours, too. You're like, sun
exactly.
At all hours.
1 a.m. outside some kind of random cafe bar. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I was just living it. And I wasn't actually calling that Hygge. I was just doing it. That's the funny thing about it.
Which I think is very Danish, just doing things and just being part of a bigger idea, but not having a label on it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the biggest gap between how Hygge gets sold and how it actually feels. Because everybody, when they do these books, they talk about it as like this thing.
Yes.
But it is a feeling.
Yeah. They talk about it as like an ambiance that you're creating.
You can create. It's actually so confusing.
It is actually.
It's even confusing now. When I'm talking about it, I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
But it's not a concept that people reach for. I think it's subconscious. Sorry, that's really what I'm trying to say. So people, they sort of go out to create a Hygge atmosphere, but without necessarily thinking about it. Yes. It's just a way of life.
It's innate. It's innate in being Danish, I think. And maybe Nordic. I don't know. Maybe anyone who is non-Danish and is a listener, write to us. So I think you're right. Hygge is creating a space for connecting. That's what it is. So like in the winter, it's the creating the space with like the candles and the lights and stuff like that. And in the summer, it's more about outdoor openness.
So it's the same thing. It's just being with friends, feeling of coziness, whether you're indoors, outdoors, whether you're on a boat, whether you're in somebody's yard, whether you're in a basement or some champagne cellar thing. Like,
yeah, true.
It can just take place anywhere. It's more about who you're with, how it feels, that sort of, yeah.
I almost said the next time you're on a boat for Hygge, you need to invite me. But then I realized we are going on a boat later this summer.
Yeah, we'll report back on that.
But yeah, I think there is something really nice about the version of summer Hygge, right? It doesn't require hosting necessarily. It's more of like a pop up and be somewhere fun. Like for the people without children, maybe it's festivals. For us with the kids, it's like a beach day or a backyard barbecue or just a pop up barbecue in a park or meeting in a playground or one of these new water parks that they have around the cities and stuff, which are really fun. Nice. But I think the good version is I met a friend for drinks a few weeks ago, back when it was still really warm. And we just grabbed beers from 7-Eleven and sat by the harbor. And that was like super Hygge.
Yeah.
Like that was summer Hygge.
Also so Danish.
Yeah.
That is so Danish. It's unbelievable. But it is very nice. I love it when people just get a drink, a glass of wine or whatever, or bring their own bottle and sit around the lakes. Yeah. Because everybody does, like everyone can go to the harbor, but it's funny. The lakes is quite nice. It has like a real picnic feeling to it.
It does. I've seen quite a few cute date nights there that I've always like,
exactly. Because you could just be like, oh, should we in between places? Like maybe you don't make the final destination because you're like, maybe we should just sit here and you kind of just go with the crowd. Anyway, we digress here. But the point being, it's much lower stakes. It's much more spontaneous.
Yes.
Which is funny because Danes are not usually known for spontaneity.
You don't say. No. But I think with the summer and the good mood and the fact that it's light more times than it's not, spontaneity, just like going with the whim, going with the feeling, is just, I think it's just naturally with the summer.
Or at least for everybody with kids, we all know spontaneity is a rarity.
Yes.
It's wonderful when it happens, but it's still more rare, especially when your kids are small. But what it does mean is the plans that would normally be 6 weeks ahead, they might be like 3-4 days out.
That's true. That's true.
There's a bit of wiggle room, I feel, in summer.
Yes. Well,
and
because
people are like, hey, do you just want to, it's so hot. Do you want to go to the Sopperbessen, the splash?
Oh, the
paddling pool
pools. Yeah,
thing.
those little splash pools.
Yeah. It's just funny calling it a pool because it's like 10 centimeters of water and there's no swimming taking place there. But I've done that several times because the weather has been so nice. So it's like normally I've invited or someone else and they're like, oh, should we just grab the kids from school and just go here? And random stuff. So that's been really nice. And you're right. Loosen is a good way to say it.
I think though it comes back to the weather because the Danes do not take a sunny day for granted. So the spontaneity comes when like, oh, look, it is a beautiful day. It doesn't matter if I had planned on going to the movies. Now we're going to be outside, right? I think the fact of like grabbing the sunshine when it's present is what drives the Hygge spontaneity.
Agreed. So now we talked a little bit about summer Hygge. Now can we talk about the light?
Which is it is a blessing and a curse.
It really is. I think it's the thing that underpins everything about summer here, and people truly do not understand it until they've lived through it.
Yeah, and I think it is a live through it because you think it's exciting, and then it's a little bit like, okay. So it is my second summer here, and I am not afraid to admit I still underestimate the amount of sunshine and how early the light comes in. So you would think after doing it last summer, I would have learned my lesson and I would have gotten blackout curtains.
Yeah.
But based on our bedroom, most of the time it's quite dim, so it doesn't need it in my mind. But I don't know what the sun does, but like a little sneaky little thief or something, it finds its way into my windows, even though we are quite dark normally. At 5:15 in the morning, it is popping my eyes wide open.
Yeah. It's every year. Every single year, my kids are surprised by it. I'm just annoyed by it. They're surprised by it.
I think it's easy to be surprised though, because when they're so little, it's hard to think back. But I have the same problem. My son is like, but Mama, look, it's still light out. I'm like, no, it's not. Once we get you to room, you'll see how dark it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then you're like taping newspaper and I've heard it all. Friends of mine living here who have had kids and, like babies have literally been putting newspaper up on the walls, tin foil, like duct tape, like anything. Yeah, you think I'm joking, but anything that blocks the light out, because you're right, especially when they get old enough to talk, and then they're like, oh, it's not bedtime, it's still morning, because they have no concept of time. You're like, no, it's quite really late. Really late.
Yes, it's quite late. I mean, I think the flip side of this, though, for us adults, it does mean, it's so nice at 10 o'clock. You can still sit outside if you have an outdoor space, or be outside, and it's still bright out. It's not, it's really lovely.
Yeah.
The counter to that, and this is what I was sad about the other day, fireworks. The fireworks then at Tivoli on Saturdays don't start until 11:30 p.m. No kid is going to be able to see that. Heck, most adults who have kids are asleep and can't see that.
Spoiler alert. It's not for them or us. It's for people who actually live their lives after 11:30 p.m.
I mean, but when your
I love that that's your reference. It's like the one goddamn thing that annoys me that I miss. Tivoli fireworks.
I also, back to your point about the concerts and summer series, I had been speaking to my husband, the other day when I was like, I really wish we had moved here before we had our son, so we could have spent a lot more time outdoors and kind of in taking what I feel the best of Denmark, because most of it is after 8 or 9 p.m. when we're back home at bedtime.
After 9 summers, I still love it. I think it's better to have more light than a lot of darkness, and maybe that's just how I feel, because we do come off an 8 months winter living in Denmark. So I'm like, when the sun's out. But having kids completely changes your relationship with it, because you need, like I said, you need them tied at bedtime. The sun has absolutely no interest in helping you with that.
No.
And it's light until 10:30. It's still
10:30, 11.
11 feels like dusk.
It does. It's still bright enough that you can see, you can walk around. You don't have to put lights on her bike yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love what the light does to the city. So you want to be outside. You want to stay out. Everything feels somehow just more available and open.
Yeah.
I mean, putting our son to bed, I'm immediately like, all right, let's just grab some time outside still. We try and eat outside whenever we can.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's just something really nice.
We've also been doing that more this summer.
You have?
Yeah, and we did it. We've had new furniture in the yard. So that's been really nice.
Oh, that's so nice.
That is very cozy. But I agree. I mean, the city vibe in summer, it's so positive, energetic, honestly inviting. I think that's it. I went, it's like the sun comes out and everyone's like, oh, hell yeah. Whatever we can do.
I know.
Where are my shorts in 16 degrees?
Maybe that's why my husband brought me to Denmark in the summer for the first time. And then I was like, yeah, let's move there. That sounds lovely.
And the funny thing is, when I always say this to visitors, this is a funny one for visitors. For some reason, all our visitors, they come in winter.
Oh.
And we're always, you're sure you could come in February. But it's quite a different city, in summer, the harbor, the parks, the cafes, everything just comes alive. There's this buzz, again, a bit like Hygge. You can't really put a full name to it and describe it, but it's just an atmosphere that's really amazing.
Energy. And it's an energy.
It's an energy. City. Yeah. There's just this positive energy. And it comes alive in a way that Copenhagen in February gives absolutely no indication of. So your visitors get a very different experience, which can also be very nice, but often very different in summer. And I think for visitors, it's better for sightseeing and being outside.
Yeah, but if you're coming in summer, I think there's one thing that is very Danish. So all Nords have a summer, let's call it midsummer celebration. In Sweden, it's much bigger. And here, the big one for Denmark is Sankthans.
Yeah.
Right? So
which is midsummer.
Yeah, exactly. Which is midsummer. But they celebrate it a lot differently.
They just have to say it differently.
Yeah. And also they do different things. So for you those of you who don't know what it is, and you know what, we didn't do enough research about it to say, but there's one thing that we all know happens, and that is witch burning. It's witch burning. There is a giant bonfire where you burn a witch.
But are the witches actually there? Because when we were up in Bear Hill, and there was this fake bonfire because they're not allowed.
For the kids.
They're not allowed.
No,
that
but
one, right?
if
but
we
the
had
big
gone
one,
further, that one was like
there's a witch.
There's a large bonfire, and I think there might be some type of form. I'm not sure. Again, I missed it because we needed to be back home for bedtime. But in previous ones I've attended, actually outside of Denmark, there was a witch.
Oh,
yeah, like a usually a stick-like person with some clothing on, right?
Okay, it's a raging assumption. Burn the witch.
It did originally have a witch on it. There was definitely a witch. Not sure. Maybe it was the idea of like burning away like evil and darkness, and now you're celebrating the longest day of light, or something like that. But it's, I mean, beyond the burning of the witch, it's just fun, right? You're just there. And when we went to the kids version, that was a lot of fun. Lots of music. The kids are singing, the dancing. Yeah. It was very cute.
And that is definitely a ritual here. I think there were thousands of people in that park. There was many beach locations, lots of other like squares and places around Copenhagen celebrating it. So I think a lot of people make real effort, finishing work early, picking up the kids early and getting out there. And I think that's really nice. But what about do you have other rituals that you kind of...
Yeah, I mean...
It's a non-negotiable for you in summer.
I mean, in general, non-negotiable for me is barbecuing. Just in general. I love barbecue. I cannot
every
go
day
through.
Or...
I mean, if we can, if it's not pouring down rain, we will put something on the grill. Even if it's not true barbecue, we'll put something on the grill. Being by the shore, unless it's sore, being by the shore and just in general, the beach, even if it's a little too cold to swim, those are kind of must-haves for me. And it's just in general being outside. Bike rides, especially since our son can ride a bike a lot longer. Anything that has to do with outdoors, like meeting friends for a boat trip or just wine outside, rooftops.
I love that. Yeah. And of course, I'm always up for all of those as well. And I think the one for us as a family is the biggest summer ritual has become quality time. Because we really try
Look
to
at you being so nice. I'm like, drinking and eating is my ritual.
The beach, basically just on our own. Like, barbecuing without my kid and my husband.
The undertone is that I am with my family and our friends. So yes, quality time.
I like that you had to add that in, overlay it late. Like, oh yeah, that's right, family time. No, but the reason I say this, as you know, my husband has an incredibly demanding job.
Yeah.
And if we go on holiday outside of summer, often, or Christmas, I guess summer and Christmas are the sacred times. If we try to do a holiday, like go abroad somewhere, often he'll have to work.
Yeah.
And the nice thing for us is, Denmark closes down in July kind of thing.
Do. It's just empty.
And we just take advantage of that. Whether we go, abroad or we take a summer house here or whatever, the main thing is it's ring fenced from work. And that's become sacred because it's really difficult for us, as the five of us, to spend that quality time. So I think I can honestly say that is a ritual, like a tradition. That's something that we do every year and we take it really seriously. And then anyone who actually knows me knows that I'm always doomed with any kind of holiday. And I don't know why this seems to have just happened in the last 2 years. But my newest holiday that I was so looking forward to, and I'd just been sick last week. So I was like, okay, great. I'm in the clear. Yes. No more sickness following me around because that's an actual thing. Now the airport is closed because of a volcanic eruption. So I'm just like,
I'm sorry.
So we take it really seriously.
I'm not laughing at your pain. I'm just laughing at the absurd.
It is an ongoing joke.
It is. It's ridiculous. You are cursed.
Yeah, I'm cursed.
Yeah. Now that you said it, it hadn't been a ritual for us before because last year was our first sort of time here. But that quality time and actually taking a part, because you're right. Denmark is closed down in July. No one's working. Everyone's gone. It's almost sort of required. But it's one of those things where in the States where I was coming from, that doesn't happen because people don't have enough vacation for everyone to just do that. But yeah, last year was our first year and we went abroad for our summer vacation and we actually went somewhere where our phones didn't work, which at first seemed annoying, but honestly ended up being the best thing.
Exactly.
Like within a couple days, there was no iPad, there was nothing. We were technologically incapable of being connected with others. So we were forced to be connected with each other, which actually was fantastic.
No, it's so nice. And I think you've kind of touched on something there, talking about, being connected. That is another thing. Hygge in the summer, like summer Hygge parenting. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
Way to say it. And we talked about it, briefly about quality time and doing the fun things outside. And I think one of the things that most surprised me about Danish summer parenting, especially early on, is just how unhurried everything is. There's no pressure to fill every day with something structured. You can go to the beach, let the kids run around. That is the day. It's enough.
Yeah.
So if you are around in the summers and even before the July, like everybody disappears, like in June when schools are wrapping up and it's longer days and picking kids up maybe a bit early, heading to the beaches, to the parks. It's all this stuff. And I think I didn't have kids in another country, but I'm curious about how that compares for you for the US.
Yeah, I think for the US, we're kind of, all right, we'll have to put a thing on this, but I'm going to say it. We're fucked as parents.
I was not expecting you to say that. You've actually said the F word twice.
Did I already?
We don't normally do explicit content, but here it is.
I have to put a little explicit content warning on this. It's true because this is the weird juxtaposition or I guess like thing that happens with the US, right? So the average American gets 3 weeks vacation. All schools, including most kindergartens, are closed for 6 to 7 weeks. So mathematically, guys,
something doesn't add up.
Something doesn't add up. So what the hell do you do with kids? And so immediately it is from January, I kid you not, right after Christmas, you start thinking about what you're going to do with your kids in the summer. Because all right, you're going to take 1 or 2 weeks with them on a vacation, maybe go to a beach, maybe go to a lake house, do something, whatever, come travel to Denmark and enjoy the Hygge experience here, whatever that is. But then you've got another 4 to 5 weeks, depending on your school district, on what do you do with them. And so this is when it becomes, especially in, I'll talk about the Bay Area, a mad scramble. It is like survival of the fittest for getting your kid registered for programs that are not just like, oh, this is so lovely, they prepare this for kids. No, they're exceedingly expensive. When my son was 3, just had turned 3, that was his first summer where we had to figure this out and we didn't have our nanny. I put him in a cooking class, like a little cooking camp. He was 3. Most people are like, you had a camp for your 3-year-old? I'm like, yeah, what else is he
like, you bad parent.
Exactly. It's like, no, he like,
there's nowhere else to go.
So he went to a little toddler cooking school for like a week. It was super cute. But I literally stood up all night waiting for that clock to turn.
That was like me getting tickets for Glastonbury. It's like, refresh.
And then you're like, okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and spend $800 for the week on this. Like it's, and that's
bonkers.
Just one part of it.
That is just unimaginable here, right?
Yeah. No, here they're really good at providing lots of activities for kids. So the schools are out. Parents, yes, have more vacation, but parents aren't staying off that entire summer. But, I see the billboards all the time in Frederiksberg, in like Copenhagen of summer school, summer activities for kids. And most of them are free or like lower price.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And so I think they kind of build that into that. It's nice.
Again, this emphasis on family time, being outside, public offerings, all of that good stuff.
Agreed. Exactly. And then spending a lot of the summer, just being with other people, whether it's in a camp or exploring new activities like football camps or swim camps, all of that, which is great. But it's built in a way that it doesn't feel so stressful to get into it. So I think that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. And I don't have a comparison. I can talk, I can compare to England in terms of having grown up there and having friends there and family with small children. And it sounds vastly different here, much more aligned to the US. For sure, people do not take 6 weeks or 7 weeks off in summer. And, it's the same. They have to find camps or somewhere. And we all know childcare costs have been soaring in the UK. So that's been a big talk politically recently about how they can lessen that. But I think one of the funny things about summer with kids and this big shift for me personally, also my husband, who I know listens to this, so he will definitely find this funny, is what kind of holiday actually works with children?
Oh,
because you have your first kid.
When you do take the holiday together, when they're not in a camp and they're doing something
This is not the camp.
else.
This is just like, now we're going abroad.
Yes.
Okay, we're planning this trip. Where do we go? So we're getting out of Copenhagen. We're going somewhere. And then you're like, previously we would have done like city breaks, all this cultural stuff. So of course you try to do that with your 9-month-old or whatever. Yeah, exactly. That's an evil, that's a well-timed evil. Yes, that does not work. And then you just learn. We had to learn fast because, it was a bit like boom, boom, boom with 3 kids. No. So these big resorts with a pool and all-inclusive or half-board, whatever.
Kids Club is a magic
everything.
term.
Children are happier. We're happier.
Yes.
Lesson learned. This is one of the things, actually, I still think creates a lot of like Hygge moments because there is so much zen around the trip.
Yeah.
Yes, the flights are always annoying. The car trips, everyone's hot and tired and you do too many stops for like a 3-hour journey or whatever. But at
once
the end
you're
of the day,
you're just enjoying
it. It used to be happy wife, happy life. I still think that applies to my husband, but I definitely think it's like, it needs to start.
My husband
happy
listens
kids.
too, and yes, that still applies to you. Happy wife, happy
but
life.
I mean, like, it's still. For me, it's like happy kids.
Yes.
Then I'm happier, and then he's happier. So we've both learned that, that's something that we needed to focus on.
And we've been doing similar things a little bit more. I think we do have one, which makes it logistically a little bit easier to still blend a little bit of hopping. I wouldn't say hopping around. What I would normally have done if it was just my husband and myself.
Oh, yeah.
We would have done a lot more cities, a lot more things, put more things into the day. We do some of that with our son, but we definitely, if we had been, I don't know, say like exploring a Roman ruin a whole day plus something else, we'll do it for like a morning and then go back to the resort or back to the pool. I think I learned last year in this unconnected summer that it was really important for 2 things. One, I get to still find some cultural exploration, so I don't feel like I'm just, I don't know. I feel like I need something inputs in me, right? Like, I need to like go somewhere culturally like stimulating. I need really good food. It doesn't mean it has to be expensive food. It just has to be good food. Tasty. Yeah. And I need beach or pool time, right? Those are the things.
And a smut book.
Yes.
And you need a smut book.
I do. I already have 2 lined up for the vacation. I've been holding on to them. And I could just I just dive into that and nothing else is really exciting.
Mama needs me time.
I'm just going to drink this margarita and read this book.
Lose myself in this aimed at 16-year-old post.
Or get like unusually surprised by a book that I didn't know was going to be as intense as it was. I was like, oh shoot, can other people see what I'm reading? This is embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. You loaned me one of those and I told you I read like 20 pages. I was like, okay.
Like, too much.
I'm like slightly embarrassed reading it on my own. And I'm not a prude before anyone thinks it with the British. I am not a prude.
No, this one, I was shocked at it too. But anyhow,
sorry,
I know we digress.
This is still Hygge. I was just saying summer. That is very much Hygge in the summer.
Yeah.
But a quick question.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're wrapping up here anyway. Naturally is, if we just think Hygge specifically.
Yeah.
Do you think you can actually learn Hygge, or do you just one day feel it?
Ooh, that is a good question. I think you can learn how to start developing it. Because I think back to our first part, it's 2 parts. It's the creating an atmosphere is part of it, but it's what comes from that atmosphere, or if an atmosphere already exists, how you take advantage of that is part of the Hygge, right? So
yes, that's summer, exactly right. Yeah.
So in the summer, you don't have to create it as much because it's already there, and you are then enjoying it. And in the winter, you have to spend more time building things around you to create that atmosphere that then turns into hygge. So I think it's twofold. It's one, learning how to create it, but two, and most importantly, it's knowing how to capture it and like jumping in there with both feet.
Yeah. So the summer version is basically easier to access just because it's like the summer hygge there in the atmosphere.
Yes.
It's kind of all around. Whereas at home, you really have to kind of put more thinking into it. If your space doesn't just have like that natural cozy atmosphere, you then need to create it.
So I think that's exactly right. If you're heading into a Danish summer, or even you could try doing hygge where you are if you're not here in Denmark, whether it's your first or your fifth or your ninth, you can lean into hygge, right? You can lean into the Danish hygge really easily, and you can kind of create or replicate Danish hygge where you are. So just don't wait for the perfect plan, right? You can just take the sunny day when it comes.
Exactly.
Jump into it.
Couldn't agree more. Say yes to the garden gathering, go to the beach on a Wednesday. Just, let the evening run late and get the bloody blackout curtains sorted before June. And then non-negotiable.
That is non-negotiable. Do not use a towel. I'm pointing at myself now.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. All right. But thank you for spending part of your day with us.
And we'd love to hear what summer hygge looks like for you. Have you found your version of it? If there's a ritual that's becoming yours, or a moment where it finally clicked for you here or even abroad, go ahead and write to us at the scandishift@gmail.com, or find us on Instagram. We really do read everything you send to us. Most of the time, Selena will be the one writing right back to you immediately.
I do actually, yeah. But tack for a day.
Tack for a day.